Let's derive some important identities here. So what is the cost of the bundle which is needed given price system P, price vector P, to give me, to allow me to get to the maximum utility that I can get, given that I have a wealth of W, right? What's the maximum utility? That's the indirect utility function that gives me this. So what is the cost of this, of the cheapest bundle in this expenditure minimization situation? Well, it's W, right? The expense to get to this utility is W because I've defined precisely the utility as being the maximum utility that I can get at P and W. Another question that I can ask is, what is the maximum utility that I can get given price vector P and given that my income or my wealth is set at the expenditure level to get me to U? Well, I've just told you that I'm getting to U, so U is the utility level here, the maximum utility level that I can derive from this particular wealth amount if I'm defining the wealth to be equal to the expenditure associated with P and with U. That's the second important identity. Third identity, if I'm looking at the bundle that gets me to the best utility that I can get to given P and W, which is the indirect utility function, what is this bundle equal to? It's none other than the Walrasian demand function. The utility maximizing bundle is the same as the expenditure minimizing bundle when the utility that is being used to determine the expenditure minimizing bundle, the least costly bundle to get to that level of utility, the utility happens to be precisely the utility that is being derived from consuming the Walrasian demand. Here I have a situation where the solution to the utility maximization problem, the solution bundle, the Walrasian demand, is the same as the solution bundle to the expenditure minimization problem, the Hicksian demand. Oops. And finally, if I look at the Walrasian demand associated with P and an income equal to the expense needed to get to U, to get me the utility level U, well, by definition, that also is going to be equal to the Hicksian demand to get to U. And this is my fourth and final proposition. And this last identity here, I'm going to be using this identity to derive the Slutsky equation. And the Slutsky equation has this very interesting feature that we're relating the Hicksian function on the one hand with the Walrasian demand function on the other hand. We're relating something which is perfectly observable to something which is not observable. Right? So that the claim is that the Walrasian demand function is defined over prices, which are observable, and wealth, which is observable on the one hand. The Hicksian demand, on the other hand, refers to the existence of a utility level, which is not something that I can directly observe. However, you can see when you're looking at this expression number 4 here, there's a little bit of a catch, because the Walrasian demand function is defined over a wealth amount which is determined to be the amount needed in order for me to reach utility level U. So it is somewhat indirectly referring to something which is not observable. I just wanted to make that little caveat here since we can see it clearly in the equation.